Welcome back, everyone. We're jumping right into today's explainer. And oh man, we are unpacking a brilliantly chaotic day in the life of one of India's most popular daily vloggers, Sourav Joshi. I mean, if you've ever wondered how a totally normal family day can suddenly escalate into cliffside terror, hilarious penny pinching, and secret gaming room busts, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly how a relaxing morning turned into absolute pandemonium. Let's get into it. So, to really set the stage for where this day ends up, just imagine screaming, "I'm just gonna walk, man." Picture being so completely terrified on the back of a two-wheeler, literally teetering on the edge of a mountain cliff, that you actually beg to just get off and use your own 2 feet. This panicked plea from Saurav is basically the hilarious climax of our journey today. But, how did we even get to this point of sheer terror? Well, it actually started out in the most relaxing way possible. Section 1. Studio Shenanigans, Comfort, and Comedy. Right, so before the mountain cliffs and all the screaming, we have the calm before the storm. Saurav actually kicks off his morning in absolute domestic bliss in their brand new studio. It's super cozy. His wife, Avantika, is just happily singing away, completely unaware that Saurav is secretly creeping outside the door and recording her. He actually jokes that, she wanted to be a singer, but since that didn't pan out, she just sings morning, noon, and night anyway. And to add to this whole luxurious vibe, they've just installed this massive, brand new massage chair right by the window. I mean, sit back, get a full body massage, stare out at the mountains. Sounds absolutely perfect, right? Well, perfect until the machine literally fights back. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the kind of relatable, everyday physical comedy that makes watching this family so fun. So, Serv decides to test out the full-body massage function on this new chair. The only problem? He completely forgets to take off his wristwatch. The chair's mechanical arms just go to work, aggressively squeezing his arm, and they end up painfully squishing his hand right against his watch. It leaves this massive, deep imprint on his skin. And Avantika, of course, quickly points out the glaringly obvious. Who gets a massage while wearing a watch? It's just a hilarious little mishap that perfectly sets the tone for a day where things, well, they just don't quite go as planned. Moving on to Section 2, a nostalgic scooty ride, chasing the mountain weather. So, after fully recovering from the massage chair attack, Saurav wants to capture a very specific feeling. He suggests they ditch their luxury car for the day and take a simple scooty right up into the mountains. He's really chasing that nostalgia of Saurav 8 years ago. He talks about wanting to feel like that unknown, everyday guy who could just roam freely without a single care in the world. So he throws on a full-face helmet, entirely convinced he's incognito now. But look at his reality today. His disguise is an absolute failure. The literal second they pull out of their residential society, locals instantly recognize him, even hiding inside that full helmet. The level of massive fame he's reached basically means true anonymity is out the window. But, despite the total lack of anonymity, there is one number that brings a massive smile to Saurav's face, and that's 400 rupees. When they stop at the petrol pump, a full tank for the scooty costs just 400 bucks. Saurav enthusiastically points out that filling up their car usually costs somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 rupees. So this tiny little fill-up feels like the ultimate bargain. It just perfectly taps into that carefree joy of simpler times, right? Back when a cheap tank of gas meant a whole entire day of adventure. Now, as they drive higher up into the mountains, the whole environment shifts. They enter this really dense, beautiful forest area. And Saurav warns Avantika to hold on tight because these jungle roads are totally notorious for leopards. He half-jokingly tells her that if a leopard jumps out, it'll probably take both of them right down into the valley. And man, it injects this sudden, sharp spike of tension into their romantic, rainy ride. They are completely exposed on this tiny little scooty, just totally surrounded by wild nature. This brings us to Section 3. Avantika takes the wheel. The mountain cliff climax. Okay, so they reach a scenic spot and Avantika decides it's her turn to drive. And you guys, this is exactly where that terrified quote from earlier comes in. The road they're on is incredibly dangerous. It's totally uneven, and right to their left is a sheer, massive drop into a valley. As Avantika takes the handlebars, she really struggles to keep the scooty straight. It starts wobbling and weaving all over the place. Saurav absolutely loses his mind. He's screaming at her, "Don't make it snake like that!" He's frantically pointing out the cars coming up behind them, the massive cliff right beside them, and he is genuinely, absolutely terrified for his life, just begging her to let him get off and walk. But the immediate contrast between the two of them is just hilarious. While Saurav is having a full-blown panic attack on the back seat, Avantika is completely unfazed by the whole thing. She just tells him, "Sit down, nothing is happening, I'm driving fine. She's actually mildly annoyed by his lack of trust, claiming he's the one ruining the romantic vibe they had going. It's this brilliant, classic marital dynamic playing out literally on the edge of a mountain drop. He is petrified of her driving, and she is just utterly, completely confident. Eventually, though, Sourav just can't take it anymore, and he demands the handlebars back. But once he's finally back in control, he pulls a move that is just pure comedy gold. Because they're heading downhill now, he completely turns off the scooty's engine and just lets it roll in neutral. And why? To save petrol. Avantika is so exasperated, just calling out what a total miser her husband is. Sourav just laughs it off, joking that their petrol scooter has magically transformed into an electric one because it's moving totally silently without the engine running. It's such a perfect, lighthearted diffusion of all that crazy cliffside tension they just went through.
Section 4. The gaming room drama busted at home.
So the outdoor thrills are over, but the indoor family chaos, that is really just getting started. Sourav gets back home only to find out that his younger cousin Kunali is pulling a fast one on everyone. And it's that universal, classic childhood strategy for dodging homework. His uncle fully believes Kunali is studying, but Kunali has actually executed this flawless 4-step plan. Step 1, open a book so it looks like you're studying. Step 2, wait for uncle to look away. Step 3, sneak right into the brand new, supposedly completely off-limits gaming room. And Step 4, well, the very second Sourav walks in with a camera to bust him, Kunali literally sprints out of the room as fast as he can. It is a hilarious, super relatable heist that just goes completely wrong. Sourav, immediately stepping into the role of the strict older brother, tracks Kunali down and just lays down the law. The rules here are totally non-negotiable. Kunali must complete 2 solid hours of actual real studying. Only then is he allowed exactly 1 hour in that gaming room. And Sourav specifically calls out his little loophole, making it very clear that just sitting in front of an open book doing absolutely nothing does not count. He even threatens to permanently lock the gaming room if these rules aren't strictly followed. And, just to add to the sheer volume of chaos in this house, right while Sourav is scolding Kunali, you can hear his other brother, Piyush, just screaming at the very top of his lungs from another room. Sourav goes to investigate and finds Piyush aggressively yelling at his screen because his character is dying in a video game. Sourav just shakes his head, joking that Piyush has become a whole pro gamer now. The house is literally just alive with energy and noise at this point. So think about it. After nearly losing a hand to a massage chair, surviving a terrifying cliffside scooty ride, catching a homework thief in the act, and dealing with screaming gamers, how does a day like this actually end? Well, with the simplest, most grounding meal possible. Mixed veg, lauki, dahi, and roti. It's this quiet, comforting, incredibly normal family dinner that acts as just the absolute perfect contrast to the wild adventures of the day. They all sit down, eat their vegetables, and just laugh about how Avantika basically tried to kill Sourav on the scooty earlier. And that brings us to the end of this explainer. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Totally inspired by Kunali's masterful attempt to dodge his homework. Does any kid actually study when they say they need just 1 more hour? Or are they literally all just waiting for us to look away so they can sprint straight to the gaming room? Think about your own family dynamics and let that sink in for a second. Thanks so much for joining me on this chaotic breakdown, and hey, keep seeking out those amazing stories hidden right there in the everyday.